What's up, people, and welcome back to my channel. Right, so Zcar stuff. Since we last left, I gave up. I wasn't feeling the best, so I took some chassis measurements from the floor so I can see the base ride height before I start taking everything out of it, because just to give me an idea on how high the car sits. So I've took some measurements, put some points around, so when everything's out, what I'll do is I'll drop blocks underneath to keep it at that height, then I can work through the suspension travel. But I don't think the car's going to be able to stay this low, because I'll have to wind the rear up because the springs were loose. And the front, I didn't notice this gap is like a finger. That's with no water, barely any fuel. If I bounce on the front of here, that there comes and that's bollock away, right? Now you think, oh, I could just move this down. I can't just move that down, because that one should be in line with that one. And if I move that down, it's just going to accentuate the issue of this arm. The only thing I could think of is to hire the car back up. But as you see from my first video, this is at a body custom made to this ride height. Ideally, this subframe needs to come across here. Yeah? That way, this arm could come up and that arm could come up. But I could make it, but I'd have to make a whole new subframe. And we're starting to go into the realm of an awful lot of work, not just a lot of work. And just for me to get an inch clearance in there, it might just have to run an inch higher. It's not what I wanted. I don't know, it's not what the owner wanted. But we cannot have contact in a suspension component. So that's something I've really got to think about, is that. Because more than likely, the first thing that's going to bend is the rose joint, not the aluminium. I did think what I could do is change all this setup back to a normal mini one. Look, put a normal mini one on here. Just basically it will be a bottom arm. You know, like the bottom arm adjusters, and you know, the heavy duty bottom arms, and it won't have this on. And then if it wants to run a anti-roll bar, we'll have to fix it in some other way. But we're not at the front end anyway yet. At least we're not quite ready for this. So what I've started doing is disconnecting all the loom. The dash has come out. All this wiring's come out. Took some bits off. All this loom's ready to come out. Because basically what's for sale is the engine, throttle bodies, full loom, power commander. This is the proper loom. So this plugs into the dash. This is your rear light loom and everything. It's coming with the panel. It's coming with the aluminium water pipes. It's coming with the oil lines. All these fuel pipes, fuel tank, oil cooler, radiator. Most of it basically. So oil system, water system, fuel system, all the pipes, all the electrics, engine. All you will need to do is you'll need the power starter. So the one off your battery goes to the one side and the wire from the other side goes to there. Comes with all the rubber hoses. It'll probably come with the header tank, but that's just a Vauxhall header tank. If I decide to keep that one, you'll need a Vauxhall header tank. Doesn't come with the exhaust. So yeah, that's what, and that's up for sale for £4,500, right? Now that is a Zcars engine as well. Don't exactly know what's inside it, but it's one of Zcars. And I'm pretty sure they came stock with the heavy duty output shaft and some other bits. I'm not quite sure what they are, because it's not my engine. It's got a manual cam chain on it, but it sounds lovely. It really sounds like a nice, well looked after engine, because it hasn't really done any miles. I mean, look at it. It really hasn't done any miles. I think he used it for, I think he used it twice. The only thing it could have done with is all this could really do with a good clean. Yeah. So yeah, that's for sale. 4,500. You get the engine, the loom, the ECUs, the switches, fuel system, oil system, water system. Right. Anyway, so what we're going to do now is we need to get all this loom out of it. We need to drain the fuel out of it. I've already drained the water out because we have to take some measurements for the radiator because I'm having a custom one made. So yeah, loom out. Then that's got to come out. All this got to come out. The oil lines are going to be the fun one, because I'm going to have to split the oil lines to get them through. How do you want to do that? But yeah, let's get some work on, shall we? I didn't do much in the last video. All you saw was took the bulkhead out. What's the crack with that? Doing half a job. Right, let's roll, shall we? Right, so we're getting somewhere. Yeah? You can see we've moved along quite a lot since he come. Yeah? From basically a running driving car to not so no more. So I've got to finish trimming all these off. What's left of the column, gear selector. I'm probably going to end up chopping this out because it's already bowed down in the middle. But I'm going to see, basically I need to get the seat over, so I need to put this centre section back in and see how far I can take the seat over. I need to ask him if he really wants to keep that seat, or if he wants to buy a new one the same, or he wants to buy a wraparound one like I've got in mine. They're much better seats in a safety aspect for my eyes, and there ain't much weight difference between a Kirky and my Corbeau ear wraparound thing. So I want to get the seat as far over as I can. Then the gear selector is going to go further over, because I want to, if you look from here, you see where the steering column is? Like there. It was nowhere near the centre of there. So this, I'm going to do the maths and work out how far I need to come over to get that column as straight as I can. Yeah? Then we can see where the column needs to be, so if that can be where the column wants to be, depending on where I've got to have the seat. And then, you know, figure it out from there, move it across as much as I can, get it nice and straight, and it'll help with the centre balance of the car with him further in the middle, obviously. Right, so next, really, I'm sort of buggered because the oil cooler comes through that little hole. So whatever I do, it's going to make a mess, isn't it? So either I've got to take it off there or take it off down there, and I haven't got any caps to put on. And if I take it off down there, the engine's going to dump all this fucking oil on the floor. Don't really want to take the oil out of the engine, because this engine could be standing around for ages. I don't know. You know what I mean? The brake lines were all good though. You know, that's a good point. Brake line's perfect. Not an issue with them. Right, so from that we can determine, you've watched me do this little bit of stuff. I'm going to call this video a day, so I'm going to try and keep this video short, but plenty of them. Right? Well then, I'll catch you in the next one, people. See you later.